Hey guys, today I want to introduce and review the budget bridge hyperzoom Fuji S4500. Okay, so right off the bat, the 4500 is one of 4 recently announced or released cameras in this range for Fuji. The 42, 43, 44 and 4500. And the difference between them is their zoom range, so what the maximum zoom is. This is the top one, the 4500, and it has a maximum zoom of 30 times. Now I have to point out, whilst this is Fuji and whilst it's a 30 times zoom and whilst it's got, on paper a whole lot of good looking specs, it is a budget camera. Check out the prices, it's really competitively priced and you get what you pay for. With so many cameras on the market, it's easy to be misled by just the numbers. So what are its frames per second, what's its resolution, what's the size of the sensor, what different options does it give you, and just go off that. On paper, this seems like the bargain of the century, but you have to take into account it's built to a price and, as I said, you get what you pay for. Comparing this to, say, the XS1, which is another Fuji hyperzoom kind of hybrid type camera, they're just completely worlds apart. On paper, they may seem a bit similar, but completely different. When feeling around this one, the ergonomics of it are just fine, but you can tell that the plastics are a lower grade. The buttons, likewise, have a cheaper feel to them because they are cheaper. It's got a 3-inch LCD on there, but it's 230,000 pixels, which is remarkably low. That's like what was a standard 5 years ago. Now 460K is considered low, and 3-inch ones are regularly coming with 900,000 or 1 million. So 230 is really low. It's got full HD video. It's got the built-in pop-up flash, which again feels rather dinky. One thing that I'm not a fan of is it uses AA batteries rather than a rechargeable lithium-ion one. I actually have a friend who prefers using AA's because he's on the road all the time. That way, you can get those kind of batteries anywhere. If you don't have a charger, then you're sweet. Also takes SD card. A couple of things, the experience of shooting with it, it's slow. Even for, an entry-level one, I found it really slow to start up. Takes quite a while to be ready to take a shot. And whilst the image quality overall is not too bad, and it's got a macro mode in there that works really quite well, the high ISO performance, no, let's not say high, the ISO performance is not good. From even above 200 or 400, you're starting to see things go pear-shaped quickly. So I'll show you some samples towards the end anyway. But as I say, you do get what you pay for, and if you're on a tight budget, if you need a huge zoom range, if you don't mind using AA batteries, and if you're going to be shooting outdoors in the situations with good light and with subjects that aren't moving too fast, so the speed of this thing isn't going to be an issue for you, this could be the bargain of the century for you. But in all of those other areas, you're going to start to find yourself a little bit limited. And if you don't need such a huge zoom, take a look at some of the, the compacts on the market at around the same price, and you're likely to find a higher quality image result coming off them if you don't need that huge zoom. Anyway, let's take a little look around the body on this one. You can see on the back it's got a fair few controls, including one-touch exposure comp, which is nice. The buttons do have quite a cheapy feel to them. Non-articulated screen, as you would expect. Really tiny electronic viewfinder. I think it's almost designed expecting that you won't use it. It's got face detect. As I said, this button on the front is quite tacky. Speaker on the side, and even the rubberized areas, they're not rubberized, it's just textured plastic. But you make something to a budget, so then you can sell it at a certain price point, and there has to be some trade-off. So I'm not thinking that a really entry-level price camera should offer the same bells and whistles of a high-end one. I just want to point it out to you because on paper and in press photos, those kind of handling issues don't come up. That's why a hands-on review is really valuable, I think. Let's just take a look at some of the sample pictures. Okay, so let's look at some images. There we are at the very wide end. And then see the building in the distance? There we are, zoomed in a long way, but there it is at full zoom. It really zooms a long way. Here's another example, zooming in on the trees in 2 steps, and they are reasonably crisp. It was a reasonably bright day. Next up, we've got, that's using the macro mode. It gets in quite close. And then that super macro mode, even closer. It'll focus down to 2 centimeters. And there it is on my fingertip. Please don't use that to commit any crime. And then here's a sample what I mean about the ISO. There's a shot of my messy desk. But look in close and look at the noise and the mess that's in the wall already. That was shot at ISO 400. Okay guys, so I hope that helps. Leave me any questions or comments. Please click to like and subscribe. And I'll see you again soon for more photo news and reviews. If you're wondering why I'm sporting this sexy Magnum PI style mustache, hi there. It's for Movember. I've got a team going. You can donate. There's a link in the caption below. It raises money for men's health. Really appreciate it. Thanks.